Awesome team. So today I'm going to run you through my chest and bicep workout done at Kingdom Gym in Brookvale, Sydney. So if you're ever in Sydney, come check out one of the best gyms in the world. So for warm-ups, I headed over to the pec fly and I supersetted that with a reverse preacher curl. Okay, priming your pecs before your chest workout. So basically you want to challenge the muscle in a short position before we go into any other movements like the dumbbell press. So we want to fire off as many motor units in the pecs as we can to limit the assistance we're going to get from the front delt and the tricep in the dumbbell press. So really fire off the pec, fire up your nervous system, challenge yourself in a short position here. So you'll notice I've got one arm that's fixed in the fully contracted position and one arm that's moving, just to spend a little bit more time, and it increases the time under tension in that fully contracted position. My intent is to depress my shoulder blades, initiate the movement from the pec and just drive that upper arm hard into my chest, and then controlling the negative. So really control the down and lengthen position. Same again, get 6 to 8 reps and then head on to your second primer. So for the second primer, we use the dumbbell reverse preacher curl. So getting set up on the opposite side of the dumbbell preacher bench, really drive your upper arm back into the pad and drive your shoulder blade down towards your back pocket. So really lock yourself in on that pad. You're going to initiate the movement with the bicep. So even at the bottom, squeeze the tricep to fully lengthen. The resistance profile here gives you a great challenge in that sort of last third of the rep there, and still a bit of challenge in that end range. So I'll do 6 to 8 reps here. Also important to focus, you'll notice my wrist is in a neutral position at the bottom and then I'm turning my palm up. So that just helps get the bicep fully short as opposed to a preacher curl. And here you'll notice is a good example of how you can brace yourself using your opposite hand to lock yourself in on that pad. Get your 6 to 8 reps and then we'll get into the working sets. Awesome guys, so your working sets, we're going to do dumbbell bench press 4 to 6 and arm blaster dumbbell curls 6 to 8 reps. So onto the dumbbell press. With the negative or the lowering phase, really focus on deaccelerating gravity. Pause at the bottom, don't use any bounce at the bottom. Then initiate the movement by contracting the pec and driving that upper arm into the chest. Also important to note my positioning. So this is like a very wide dumbbell press. A lot of people press in nice and close. I'm purely trying to isolate the pec for hypertrophy, so I keep the wrists out, which creates some distance from the shoulder, which makes the pec work a hell of a lot harder. Now heading over to your arm blaster bench dumbbell curls. The reason why I love this bench is it has a resistance profile that matches the strength curve of the bicep. So in that mid-range where you're really strong, the resistance profile from the exercise is at its greatest. So control the negative, pause at the bottom, contract the bicep, drive that upper arm back hard into the pad and finish your 6 to 8 reps. If you don't have one of these benches or someone wants to text in your bench you have available to you, you can do this one standing. I like to use another weight in a fixed arm for balance and stability. It does require a bit more shoulder stability. All you do is bring the elbow out in front of your body and still initiate with the bicep, get it fully short, control the negative. From this angle you can see the angle of the arm. I move my elbow forward and it mimics the angle of that bench in the background. So grab your 6 to 8 reps, do your 5 sets of your superset of your dumbbell press and arm blaster curls, and then head on to your C sets. So working sets for the B sets is cable decline fly 8 to 10 reps and semi-supinated curl 6 to 8 reps. So for the cable decline fly, important to note the height of the handle is important. So the line of force comes from that cable back into that pulley. You really want to line that cable up so it looks like it's going through the head of the upper arm or the shoulder joint. That'll allow you to line that pec angle up nice and tight. So my setup here is I'm trying to lift my collarbone to the roof and drive my scaps back down towards my small of my back or into my back pockets. I'm controlling the negative. I pause at the top, find the pec, and I contract out. and I never cross my hands. So important to note, my pec isn't attached to my wrist, it's attached to my upper arm. So to get the pec fully short, I'm trying to take my upper arm into the side of my rib cage. So straight into your semi-supinated bicep curl. I'm using the Watson thick grip bar here. Thick grip training is proven to recruit more motor units. So the more motor units you get, more calories burned, more lean mass gains you get. So, and the profile of this exercise is really good for challenging that mid-range of the reps, so where we're strongest. So we're pretty warm, we're pretty primed, so let's challenge where we're strongest right now. Grab your 6 to 8 reps. So for our C sets, we're going to use the prime chest press and the prime curl or an incline cable curl. So for any machine press, or this one's the prime press, which is a great piece because it has the torque arm, so you can load different aspects of the range. But even for most chest presses, you'll find that it starts really low, and it's a lot of front delt and tricep to initiate the movement before you get to the range of the pec. So what I do there is I just prop up the machine with a couple of weight plates just to help me start from a range that keeps it in the pec and takes out the front delt and tricep. So I'm going to control the negative, pause at the bottom, contract the pec, and take a nice fluid, smooth motion, taking all the momentum out the bottom, contract the pec, no rest at the top, straight back into that negative, and I'm going to get my 6 to 8 reps. Like that. And then I'm going to head over to, say we're lucky enough at Kingdom Gym to have another prime piece, the bicep curl. So I like to do these one arm, just frame's not big enough, and if I do 2 arms and try and match up to the machine, my arms are internally rotated. Having 1 arm at a time, I can line my shoulder, elbow and wrist up nicely and have the line of force directly into the way the muscle fibers run. So if you often see me do that, I do it a lot on one hand. I find it's far more effective than jamming myself up and internally rotating my shoulders for the 2 arm. If you don't have a prime curl, we wanted to load the biceps in the lengthened position at this point of the workout. Your incline cable curl is a great way to do that. You'll find it's really heavy at the bottom and then tails off at the top. I also like this one because my arm's in a very straight position, the elbow's back in line with the body, so it allows me to stretch the long head of the bicep a bit better than the prime or the preacher benches, because you have the shoulder in a flex position. Having that shoulder down just allows a greater stretch across the lengthened position of the bicep, but it does tail off at the end there. So if you guys enjoyed that workout and you want to learn more about myself and my training programs, just head over to www.revoltfitness.com.au, or you can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks guys.